Good day everyone, I'm Mario Codilllo, and our topic is about the Integrated Operations Planning. Here are the outline of our topic: Supply Chain Planning, Supply Chain Planning Application, that's my part, Sales and Operations Planning or SNOP, APS System Overview, Collaborative Planning, Forecasting, and Replenishment. So, supply chain planning system and supportive information systems seek to integrate information and coordinate overall logistics and supply chain decisions. The three drivers of effective planning are supply chain visibility, simultaneous resource consideration, and resource utilization. The first drivers of planning systems development is the need for visibility. It needs for visibility regarding location, status of supply chain inventory, and resources. It improves planning process sa pagbibigay ng real-time information about sa location and status ng resources and inventory. Visibility implies being able to track the supply chain inventory and resources. So, having supply chain visibility, magkakaroon sila ng transparency from raw material stage, processing of product, up to end delivery. Information regarding available resources can be effectively evaluated and managed. Having transparency to the products, malalaman nila kung ano ang nangyayari sa product nila, malalaman nila kung ano yung mga available resources, or to help them identify any shortage so they will quickly respond and make a rapid decision. Next is simultaneous resource consideration. A planning system visibility highlights resource status and availability. The second planning system requirement is the need to simultaneously consider supply chain demand, capacity, material requirements, and constraints. Supply chain design must consider customer demand for product quantity, delivery timing, and location. While some of these customer requirements may be negotiable, logistics must execute to the agreed-to requirements and standards. The constraints to meeting customer requirements are materials, production, storage, and transportation capacity, which represents the physical limitations of processes and facilities. Next is resource utilization. It needs for coordinated approach that considers service requirements while minimizing combined supply chain resources. So ang supply chain ay gumagamit ng different kinds of resources. These are the manufacturing resources, which are machines, materials handlers, tools, etc. Then storage resources, which is warehouse. Then logistic resources, which are trucks, rail transport, air cargo, carriers, etc. And financial, these are working capital, stocks. The objective of resource utilization ay para magamit itong resources para ma-maximize or mapalawak yung customer service levels at ma-minimize or mabawasan yung inventory levels or stock out rate. Excess inventory increases working capital requirements and space requirement. Extended introduction runs required longer term and move accurate forecasts. So kapag hindi nagagamit ng maayos yung mga resources at naiipon lang sa inventory, nasasayang lang. So as you can see in the picture, this PowerPoint, marami siyang resources na pwedeng gamitan to climb the wall. But hindi nagagamit ng tama, so nasasayang lang yung mga resources na yun. Next is supply chain planning applications. Supply chain planning increasing in frequency and scope. Supply chain planning applications include demand planning, production planning, logistics planning, and inventory deployment. Demand planning, it seeks to provide such capabilities. Demand management, it is a process na binabalance yung customer requirements with the capabilities of supply chain. It begins with a forecast. Demand planning is predicting future demand or forecast. It is to gather information sa sales marketing, sa operations, sa finance department para ma-estimate nila kung gaano karaming company products ang bibili ng customers in the future. Kasama na rin yung pag-gather nila ng information to any event na makakatulong sa kanilang future sales activity katulad ng promotional plans, pricing changes, and etc. It rationalizes the detailed logistics plans, unique forecasts for each warehouse and product, with the aggregate product and national plans. With the right planning, the management can match the supply sa demand. With that, may iwasan yung mga posibleng problema na makakasagabal sa proseso. Next is production planning. The statement of requirements defines what items are needed and when. Production planning ensures materials, equipment, and employees are available to meet the production goals for a business. Kasama na rin dito yung production scheduling. Production planning is also a detailed plan kung paano maaabot ng company yung kanilang production goal at kung gaano katagal. It matches the requirement plan with the production constraints. Production planning typically starts with sales forecast, which is yung diniscuss kanina na demand planning. Andito yung material labor, capacity, and backup plan just in case na magkaroon ng problema. Next is logistics planning. It coordinates transportation, warehousing, and inventory within between supply chain partners. In this planning, it includes transportation like what mode of transportation. For example, transferring of goods or product through land, sea, or air. Sa warehouse, ang inventory naman, saang warehouse ilalagay yung mga resources at kung kailan ilalagay sa inventory. These resources are materials, machine, or labor. It focuses related to international shipment. To meet the international supply chain needs, it has international shipping and logistics services. Usually less expensive kapag sa sea transportation. Logistics planning is transportation of goods at isusupply yung product sa tamang oras. It's essential for effective resource utilization. So having poor planning quality ng product, so at ang kikitain ang madadamay. By creating good partnerships sa suppliers and good logistics planning, you will be having a fast delivery at makakabawas sa gastusin. Last is inventory deployment. It represents one of the major enterprise integrators of sales, marketing, and financial goals. So sa sales and marketing strategic, ang objectives is define target markets, product development, promotions, other marketing mix plans, and the role of logistic value-added activities such as service levels or capabilities.
Ano tol? Kaya pa?
Financial strategic objectives define revenue, financial and activity levels, and corresponding expenses, as well as capital and human resource constraints. Inventory deployment processes, we have long-term and short-term elements. In long-term element, it focuses on annual and quarterly plans with the objectives of coordinating the marketing and financial plans to achieve the enterprise's goals. In short-term elements, it focuses on weekly and daily plans with the objective of coordinating supply chain and logistic resources to ensure that specific customer requests can be satisfied. It's an integrated inventory plan through what is increasingly being termed an APS system. So yung APS system ay i-discuss mamaya. So that's my part. Our lesson will be continued by our brother.
Hello guys, my name is Red and my report is all about the Sales and Operations Planning or S&OP. The S&OP is a process that coordinates demand and supply plans across the organization. The process includes information, sharing and accountability to systematically develop a common and consistent plan. While S&OP is an organizational process, it also requires a substantial information technology support. In general, the S&OP technology integrates the firm's information regarding forecasts, inventory availability, production resources, and the other resource constraints. S&OP process is increasingly necessary for effective supply chain operations. The S&OP process collaboratively establishes a coordinated plan for responding to customer requirements within the resource constraints of the enterprise. Traditionally, firms have sequentially and often independently developed financial sales and operations. First, finance develops revenue plans often designed to meet the expectations of the Wall Street. Second is the sales develops marketing plans and tactics that meet the revenue targets for the firm's product groups. This includes establishing a specific product innovation. So in other words, sales and operations planning is an integrated business management process through which the executive, the leadership team continually achieves focus, alignment, and synchronization among all functions of the organization. What is the purpose of the sales and operations planning? That aims to ensure that customer demand can be met by the production, distribution, and purchasing. My next topic is the APS system or the Advanced Planning and Scheduling System. To correspond with the planning and execution of effective logistics and supply chain strategies, supply chain planning systems incorporate both spatial and temporal considerations. Take note, spatial, hindi po ito yung special na karaniwang naririnig natin, no? Spatial po, S-P-A-T-I-A-L, na ang ibig sabihin is relating to or occupying space. In other words, APS system techniques that deal with analysis and planning of logistics and manufacturing over the short, intermediate, and long-term time periods. APS describes any computer program that uses advanced mathematical algorithms or logic to perform optimization or simulation on finite capacity, scheduling, sourcing, capital planning, resource planning, forecasting, demand management, and others. There are 5 components of APS system. Number 1 is the demand planning. Demand planning pertains to the process in which production is able to rely on accurate forecasts. These forecasts are conducted through analysis of a variety of factors such as historical sales data, statistical forecasts, importing consumer forecasts, managing forecasts, and more. Number 2 is the production planning. Production planning is the process in which a manufacturing operation ensures that raw materials, staff, and other items within the operation are prepared to create finished products according to a specified schedule. A production plan can serve as a guide for a company's production activities and establishes a sequence of activities that must be carried out in order to achieve a production target. Number 3 is the production scheduling. This component is the process of arranging, controlling, and optimizing work within a production process. The scheduling builds off the demand and production plan, which then generates a schedule the production is able to carry out. The benefits of production scheduling include inventory reduction, reduces scheduling efforts, labor load leveling, and many more. Production scheduling is an extremely important component within a production facility. Number 4 is the distribution planning. It is the planning that method is utilized for planning orders within a supply chain. Distribution planning enables user to be able to set inventory control parameters and calculate time-based inventory requirements. Haba naman ito. In order to utilize distribution planning, you must include the demand for a future period, on-hand inventory at the beginning of a period, and the safety stock requirements for a period. Overall, this component carries out how much inventory is needed to achieve high order fulfillment status. And last but not the least is the transportation planning. This is the process of defining future policies, goals, investments, and design to adequately prepare for any future needs to move people and goods to destinations. Transportation planning is a collaborative process that can incorporate input stakeholders, which includes government agencies and private or public businesses. This component mainly pertains to evaluation, assessment, design, and seating of any transport facilities. Uh, that's all. Thank you very much. Oo. Ay, teka, nare-record pa yun.
Good day, everyone. My name is Lauwrence Apostol, and my topic is all about collaborative planning, forecasting, and replenishment, or CPFR. What is CPFR? It is a process initiated by the consumer products industry to achieve such coordination. It does not replace automatic replenishment strategies but supplement them by a cooperative process. CPFR is a business practice that combines the intelligence of multiple trading partners in the planning and fulfillment of customers' demand. What are the benefits of CPFR? Improve accuracy of sale and order forecasts, reduction in inventory levels, closer relationship among the supply chain partners, reduce supply chain uncertainty, realization of supply chain cost reduction, more effective mitigation of supply chain risk, release of working capital for partners in the agreement, improved flow of materials and information up and down the supply chain, and the last one, greater efficiency in production and manufacturing. Why do we need forecasting in supply chain management? It keeps the right amount of products in stock is critical to businesses. Having too little means running out at inopportune times, causing customers to buy elsewhere. Having too much means paying unnecessarily high costs for storage and inventory management. But how can you reliably find the middle ground between those two undesirable extremes? In the world of supply chain management, it's done by forecasting. These are types forecasting in supply chain management. Number one, forecasting requirements. The forecasting defined the requirements that the supply chain must schedule the inventory and resources to fulfill. Since there are still many logistic and supply chain activities that must be completed in anticipation of a sale, forecasting remains as a critical capability for planning. Number two, forecasting components. The forecasting components is generally a monthly or weekly figure for each stock keeping unit, or SKU, and distribution location, while the forecasted quantity is generally single figure. The value is actually made up of six components. Number one, base demand. Number two, seasonal. Number three, trend. Number four, cyclic. Number five, promotion. And number six, irregular. The seasonal component is generally recurring upward and downward movement in the demand pattern, usually on an annual basis. The trend component is defined as long-range general movement and periodic sale over an extended period of time. Forecasting process. The demand of management process should incorporate input from multiple sources, appropriate mathematical and statistical techniques, elaborate decision, support capability, and train and motivated individuals. The most common supply chain forecast period is monthly, although many times are moving toward weekly forecasts. This database includes past sale and forecast history as well as a record of activities such as price changes or promotion that occurred concurrently with the sale activity. Number 4, forecasting techniques. The demand management requires the selection of appropriate techniques to generate periodic forecasts. Effective techniques used require matching the characteristic of the situation with the abilities of the technique. Number 5, and the last one, forecasting accuracy refers to the difference between forecast and corresponding actual sale. Forecast accuracy improved requires error, measurement, and analysis. These are three steps for reducing forecast error. First, appropriate measure must be defined. Second, measurement level must be identified. Finally, feedback loops must be defined to improve forecast efforts. And that's all my topic.